All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Delusional Fan with Geraghty McCloud. Sitting right here to my left, dumbfounded as I am, is Ryan McCloud. We just got done talking about NBA free agency, and ESPN both puts a flash up on our phone. Looks like the Bulls apparently aren't imploding as much as we thought they were, because it looks like Dwayne Wade is now coming to the Bulls. Ryan, he's coming home.
I'm stunned.
Can you sing the song?
What's that?
I'm coming home.
No, I think that's more for you. But, yeah, Dwayne Wade isn't for the Bulls, so he plans to sign a deal with them, sources tell. Bulls sending out contracts now. I don't know what to think, man. I don't know what to say or think.
It instantly makes the Bulls a contender if he's healthy. If he's healthy.
Does it?
The Heat were contenders last year. They were missing Bosh.
Yeah, but I think that's... Dude, I'm not going to complain getting Dwayne Wade. I love that we're getting Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
I love Dwayne Wade. I just don't... We need to pick... Again, we just got done talking about it. You need 2 to 3 superstars to do this. That's one. And he's at the tail end of his career, and we're going to be paying him max dollars. So I don't know how to take that. I'm kind of... It's bittersweet.
Here's how we're going to take it.
Here.
When LeBron is a free agent next year...
There you go.
He's coming to Chicago.
There you go. Now we're talking.
I will take the other number 23.
Oh, man. Well, you can't. He'll have to go back to 6, but 23's in the rafters, obviously. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Wow. That is crazy. I can't get into this.
That just happened. So now, again, this is just a breaking story, and he hasn't signed anything yet. Bulls are sending over contracts. Let us know what you think. We'll talk about this a little bit on Facebook too.
Got rid of one hometown kid, brought another in.
Crazy.
How about it?
And I'm fine with Derrick Rose being gone.
Oh, yeah, me too.
He can leave. All right.
Certainly not.
Next thing I wanted to get into, I know you're not as excited as I am, but this is my bread and butter here. This is what got me started in kind of the entertainment business.
The ring announcer.
Yeah, mixed martial arts. Biggest fight card pretty much in history is going down this weekend, UFC 200.
Now, why is that? Why is it considered that? Why are you kind of touting it as that?
Because of the fights and the people fighting in those fights. So the main event is Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier is the UFC light heavyweight champion. Jon Jones is the UFC interim light heavyweight champion. The backstory behind that is Jones was the long-running light heavyweight champ, got into some drugs and some legal issues. The UFC stripped him of his belt. Mm-hmm. Cormier ended up winning the belt after they stripped him from Alexander Gustafsson. Rumble Johnson. And he had to beat both of them, I guess, to get the belt. But... and then Jon Jones comes back, is supposed to fight Daniel Cormier. Cormier blows his knee out, has to have knee surgery, so then Jon fights for the interim title. So now they're unifying the belts.
Okay.
They fought once before. It's Daniel Cormier's only loss. Jon Jones beat him up pretty good, all 5 rounds. And now the rematch is happening to unify the belt. And one of the exciting things about, a couple of the exciting things about this, A, they hate each other, and it's not talk.
Why do they hate each other?
They just, I think...
bad blood.
It's just extremely bad blood.
Okay.
I mean, it's well-documented bad blood to where these guys are just constantly on each other. Just,
right.
I've never heard, because Conor McGregor does a lot of smack talk. You hear a lot of fighters do a lot of smack talk. These guys truly, truly hate each other and really, really want to hurt each other. And obviously they're in the right sport to do that.
Yeah.
Jon Jones, in my opinion, is the greatest fighter in the history of any combat sport. Boxing, kickboxing, mixed martial arts, right. I don't care what it is.
You talked about him.
Jon Jones is the greatest fighter there ever was. I've never seen anything like it. His record is 22-1-0, but the loss wasn't really a loss. He got disqualified in a fight for throwing the wrong kind of strike.
Okay.
It was an illegal strike, what they call a 12-6 elbow, meaning you're going from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, a pointed elbow on a down fighter. You can't
that should be allowed.
But... so the fight was stopped even though the guy was already knocked out. The ref just didn't stop the fight in time. Jon threw the elbow. He was disqualified, got a loss. But he's never been beaten.
Okay.
Daniel Cormier's only loss, he's 17-1. His only loss was to Jon Jones, and it was a pretty bad loss. So okay. Cormier's walked through everybody else. So that's
your bad blood.
That's just the first fight. There are 2 other title fights. So the women's bantamweight champion, Miesha Tate, who just beat Holly Holm.
Right.
Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey.
Right.
So that whole trilogy. She's fighting Amanda Nunes, so that's going to be a great fight. Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo are fighting for the interim featherweight title. Jose Aldo lost to Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor moved up and fought Nate Diaz. They didn't strip him, but he hasn't defended the featherweight belt, and he's going to fight Diaz. And so this is for the interim title, Aldo versus Edgar. And this is the second time they've fought. Aldo had already beaten Edgar once, but Edgar's one of those guys who usually doesn't lose twice to anybody. He's a great fighter. And then they've got some freak show fights. So Brock Lesnar is back in the UFC.
Yes.
And he's fighting Mark Hunt, the Super Samoan. I mean, this guy is just dirty. Just a monster. But I saw them today. They had the press conference today, and I saw them standing next to each other, and I just cannot believe the sheer size of Brock Lesnar. He's just inhuman.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, I just have never seen anything like him. I mean, and the thing is he's not just a professional wrestler, the fake shit. He was a 3-time national champion heavyweight wrestler in Minnesota.
Okay.
He won the UFC championship before, coming in, never fighting MMA before. And then he got diverticulitis. They had to remove part of his intestines. Was sick for years, hasn't fought in 5 years. Now he's healthy again and he's back. So it's just going to be insane.
Okay.
Mark Hunt is an interesting story too, because when the UFC bought out Pride, who was the other large MMA company, Mark Hunt still had fights left on his contract. The UFC wanted nothing to do with him because he didn't have a great record.
Sure.
He actually had more losses than wins.
They're worried about him. Okay.
And they're just like, listen, we'll buy out your contract. We don't really want you. And he's like, no, I have a contract. I want to fight. He ends up winning most of his fights and competing at a high level, and now he's going to fight Brock Lesnar in UFC 200. So he went from the UFC asking him to retire, basically, to now he's fighting in a co-main event on the biggest fight card in history. And then just the rest of the fights in the card are all either champions or former champions or people that usually are top 5 or top 10.
What are you most looking forward to then?
I always want to see the best fighters fight. I'm not a John Jones. Who is that then? John Jones is the greatest fighter in the history of the world.
So that fight is the best?
To me, that's what I want to watch, because I want to watch the best do what they do.
So that's Chris Geraghty's fight to watch.
Yes. The Lesnar Hunt is as much of a freak show as it is. It's going to be just fun to watch because of that.
You're right.
But then you get to watch Miesha Tate defend your belt. You get to watch Aldo and Edgar fight. Their first fight was great. Their second fight's going to be even greater. So this card has the potential to have 7, 8, 9 great fights on it. And most cards, some fights might surprise you on how good they were. This really does have the potential to just be probably the greatest fight card anybody's ever seen.
Okay. I think, they should do something like get old school WWE guys to come in and actually fight, Well, like get Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair or some shit. I'm talking only those. You have to have there's an age limit, or
Only Bellator does stuff like that.
That would get me interested.
But I'm not a freak show. But that's the thing. You wouldn't get a good fight. You'd get something sloppy and stupid.
Yeah, two old dudes who used to be the best.
With the hands on their knees in the third round because they're out of shape. I mean,
if they may get that one.
Those are my brother's favorite fights. Those two fat guys fighting each other. And then, dude, I don't know, man. I've actually slowed down watching the UFC. I've seen so many fights. I mean, I would say I've been cage side for over 1,000, maybe 2,000 fights that I've seen live.
Right.
And so I just kind of slowed down a little bit, and I'm just as excited for this card as I would have been 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So I just think it's good. Make sure you watch the fights. Actually, I want to know what you guys think. If anybody out there is an MMA fan, I know we're kind of branched out here.
Yeah, I think we do have a handful of fans who actually are UFC guys, so they'll appreciate that, and they're going to appreciate this fight or the fights this weekend. So.
Throw your picks in on Facebook. I'm going to throw mine up on our page, so you'll see who I think is going to win every fight. I want to know what you guys think of that too.
I'll throw my picks on there just for shits and giggles. We'll see. We'll see what I can do.
That's the great part about the UFC is you actually might pick better than me because anything can happen in a fight.
Right. It's like a certain set of people who pick the March Madness picks, right?
Right. Exactly.
Always based on the trunks or something, the colors, right?
But yeah, so UFC 200 this weekend. We're still, I think, both kind of reeling from the Dwayne Wade news, which is nuts.
And I would much rather talk about that. I would rather talk about NHL free agency. I'd rather talk about.
You really dislike mixed martial arts that much?
I'd rather talk about like the summer, fall, ottoman catalog at
I don't know what
IKEA.
is wrong with you. Why don't you like mixed martial arts?
I
What's
do
wrong
like
with the
it.
fight?
I do. I'm totally. It's not that I don't like it. I don't know anything about it. So you took the reins there. No, and that was good stuff, man. I just learned something.
Okay.
I'm sure other people learned something there.
All right.
So
When we come back, it's top 5 time. Top 5 is going to be fun. We are going to talk about some of the greatest either trades or free agent signings in professional sports history, which when I started really going over this and thinking about it, I had a few in my mind, and then you really start reading about some of these trades and either how they screwed or helped certain franchises out. There are some really good ones out there. So that's our top 5 coming up next. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe to YouTube, and we'll be right back with the top 5.